All right, Lions fans, here we go again. I'm coming out the gate, and I'm gonna say that the Lions is like one game away from breaking the ice of all of the continuity ice. For them to start coming together. And what I mean by coming together, when they start making mistake-free football, when they start producing mistake-free football, that is coming. And here's a prediction: they're going to win this next game, but they are finna be a buyer coming in the trade market in the next coming weeks. All the way up, of course, all the way up to the deadline. But in the next, they're about to be a buyer, and they're looking for a very specific type of player to complement the linebacker. This player complements the linebacker group as well as the defensive line. The secondary is done. That's nice. If they get a bonus piece, excuse me, it's like a veteran, but they're gonna be on the hunt for this one type of player that's gonna complement this defensive line that's finna come alive. I mean, I want y'all to understand like what that secondary did, and if I may be very specific, what Deron Harmon play has done. I haven't. I was a fan of Benny Blades and who was another one? I wasn't much of a fan of Diggs and Quinn and Glover, not Quinn, but Glover. Yeah, Glover Quinn. I wasn't a fan of theirs too much. They was okay. Deron Harmon is different. He's a different guy. He don't talk. All the guys that they bring in, they don't talk. They do not talk. You would say they're a little rattled a little bit. They can make a mistake, something like that, but they don't talk. They just, man. Danny Shelton, Trey Flowers, Deron Harmon, Jamie Collins. Who was another one? Adrian Peterson, Desmond Trufant. None of these guys they don't talk. Amendola, they don't do a lot of talking. They just work. They just work. This year is so special. The Lions are buyers right now. They have been looking at it for quite some time, but it was like they was waiting for that one practice, that one game that will bring all the pieces together up to that point. Let's say up to this point. That bye week and that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that was the turning point game, and that was a turning point period of the season, not just for this season, but to go on a title run. And I said title run. Watch the play of the secondary. Watch. Oh man, man, oh 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 man. They're getting healthier, but they're starting to jail. The offensive line is starting to jail. It don't matter if they get shuffled around. They start playing a accountable football. Like they don't want to let. It's one thing to sub a guy. Let's say like for like not last year, but a year before last, when we had Glass Glow or and that sort of thing, or we had Ashawn Robinson. Now, if one of your starters goes down, you would supplement them in. But it was almost like they didn't want to be here, so to speak. They would do their job because they were getting paid to do it. But it was like, it's my job, so I guess I do it. It's like this year, when you asking Hallelujah, I can't even say his name right now. Halapaluli Vati, when you asking him to go from a right tackle to play guard on either side or whatever, or if you're asking I guess that offensive line is shuffling around. You asking those guys to shuffle, but they're not. They're shuffling at the same approach as they were playing in a rifle spot. They may be going to a new area, but they're approaching it like, okay, I'm going to treat it like I would do my own position. It's like that. It's like working a job that you knowing it back like the back of your hand, and then the manager comes in or the boss comes in and say like, hey, we got to do some shuffling because we got a new personnel coming in and we got to change this because not only new personnel but the processing and whatever is we got to adjust this and everything else. You got some people that will be upset because they was in a rhythm how it was and they like how it is and they don't want to change. They don't like change per se because they're comfortable. But then you have those that say it doesn't matter if you change it or not. I'm game. Halapoulivaati Vitae is that type of guy. He's that type of guy. And I'm blasting this by saying Darius Slay is not that type of guy. I don't believe Kerryon Johnson is that type of guy. Some guys is just not up for change. I could say Glover Quinn and all that. They're not up for change. But when you got a guy that can say like, okay, you need me here to do this, whatever you say, boss, I'm on it. That's a guy that you want on your team. That's a guy that you want to work with. And actually, it would be great if you were that person. But they got a team full of that, and you're starting to see this team gel, just coming together. Whatever you need from me, coach. If I don't have to play a snap, whatever you need me to do, coach. The Lions organization have never had that. And Cardwell, I think he was a foundation structure as well as Jim Schwartz. But even with those two, and definitely you can go back as far as Wayne Fontes, I don't think they ever had that. I think it was like the players that were here was like, you better be glad that I'm here versus being somewhere else. Even if they was drafted, you paying me, I'm going to do what I do. But other than that, you better be glad that I'm here. I'm rambling, of course, as I always do. But this team, you can see how maybe the average Lion fan probably cannot see it. This team is because they coming together, they gelling. You could say that goes back as far as that team meeting, that all the way up to the point of from that point I could say you could say from the team meeting was like an icebreaker, so to speak. But this bye week, you watch how their performance is going to be from this point on. I said in the beginning of the season, I need 3 games to tell me if they're going to be a contender or not. I said in a couple of videos before this one that they're not a contender because they was playing a lot of mental mistakes. They was playing the mental game. They was playing the SOL type deal where when a turnover or a penalty or something like that, a mishap will come, it's like they would just sink into a ditch. But you're about to see how that's what Adrian Peterson did. Said like, nah, we ain't gonna do that here. Even though like they lost that game against the Saints, said we're not gonna do that here. I'm gonna play regardless. I'm gonna play to the end of the whistle. I'm gonna play hard. Not just play, but I'm about to play hard as though like we're winning, or whatever. I'm playing hard. That I have never seen that in a Lions uniform and a Lions organization as a spectator. I have never seen that where they just we don't care. We're just gonna play. Not a guy saying like, well, it's just my job. I get paid, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But no. The guy has pride. Like it doesn't matter if we lose it or not. No, we're setting a tone. And that is something that this team has always been missing. That's why I say he's the teeth for Matthew Stafford. Stafford has always needed that guy. You haven't had the rah-rah guys in Burleson, but it was more so that they was trying to push Stafford to be in the front, in the center. They was trying to push him like, you good enough, go. But Stafford wasn't ready. But when he go in that locker room and he see Adrian Peterson there, he's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. And not just having him in the locker room, but the moment that AP came into this organization, he has been a one type of mentality. And that just we balling. We just playing. It's no nonsense for all the other stuff. We serious. If you look at DeAndre Swift, he's following those footsteps just like that. When Bo Scarborough come back, if they play someone on the roster, if they do that, he's going to be that self same. Adrian Peterson is the anchor that running back group needed. Barry Sanders never had that. Barry Sanders had to do it on his own. Barry Sanders had no help. No help. I mean, just like Stafford had no help. When he first got drafted as a rookie, they just threw him into the wolves. He got nobody to learn up under how to be a pro's pro. So DeAndre Swift got one of the best ones to learn from. And I think Kenny Golladay got one of the best ones to learn from in Amendola. It just yeah, you can hear I'm excited. All right, Lions fan. I salute.